Hey guys, today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on all the products I featured in a haul video a year ago to let you know my current thoughts on those products. Unfortunately, overall was a big flop. There are things that I've already decluttered or things that I plan on letting go of now. So that is certainly unfortunate. And it seems like some of these purchases I was just buying to buy, which is never good. So I need to keep that in mind. But Ulta had a sale on some of their lip products. So for some reason, because usually just the drugstore things are like 30% off, but because Iconic London was included, I thought, oh my goodness, a high-end product, 30% off, like go for it. So this is a Melting Touch lip balm in Love Language. It is a pretty glossy balm, warm nude, nothing special. If you're interested, you can get those from Flip, even more discounted. Nothing special about this, and you guys know I've really gotten into this type of lip product, but I prefer the NYX, prefer the ColourPop, so just a no for me. Then I've got the Flower Beauty Plump Up Gloss Sticks. I've heard really good things about these, and I got the color Spicy, which is a coral, and then we have Toasty, which is a warm nude, and these are a little bit shinier and a little bit more slippery, and that is why I don't love them. I just think they're too slippery and just don't stick to the lips very well, and they're a fine product, but I just have so many things I shouldn't keep, things that are just fine. Same with these Flower Beauty Gloss Crush Lip Serums. These are really comfortable lip oil. I should have listened to Jen Phelps when she said that these are so sheer you don't need multiple colors, because this shade Honey Crush unfortunately looks essentially clear on the lips. I don't use clear gloss. I don't need it. I think I might want to keep Bronze Crush though. I do think that this is really pretty. This is a nice formula, but I don't necessarily think anything special. So only get some of the darker colors in the range if you're wanting a little bit of pigment, but you can probably pass on them in general. So what a flop on all of those products. Next, I got one thing from Shein. This is a SheGlam Chromazone Multi-Chrome Gel Liner. I actually think a lot of their products are good, but I am just kind of bougie and don't end up using them. So this is Subliminal, which I do need to reach for, because I always in my mind think that this is like a metallic yellow, but it really pulls olive. So that is a super pretty product. It's a really good formula, really pigmented. It does show up multi-chrome on the eye. So definitely check these out. They do come in several shades and of course are really affordable. Then I had gotten a couple things from TJ Maxx, all of which I've decluttered. One of them was the Benefit Butter Balm in Secret Oasis, which was the more pinky purple color. This is something that I had wanted for a couple months and hadn't seen, and I told myself if I saw it I would get it because it was like $8 or something. Just like a simple tinted lip balm, which was fine. Pretty color, but no, I just have other things that I would reach for. Then I had gotten the Lawless Hydrating Primer and the Glam Guard Setting Spray. I just decluttered these and sent them to my friend Jean. I think they're nice products, but not necessarily made for oily skin. The primer is really nice and hydrating. Great product, just not for me. I don't think the setting spray did very much, although I don't really notice much from setting sprays in general, but I use one every day just in case. So those all were another fail. And then everything else here was PR, which was very exciting. So I had gotten a couple things from Smashbox. I had gotten their original primer, which I passed on because that is just not for me. I just don't think it does very much. Then their liquid lipstick in the red shade. I don't wear red. I think that's a really nice moussey formula, but I had some of the minis that I had gotten in different like freebie bags and they dry out really quickly. The full size, you might not have that same experience. Then the things I did keep from that package would be the Super Fan Mascara. This is a really nice wet formula. It has a plastic wand, so this gives some really nice length and separation. I think this is great to pair with more of a volumizing mascara. And then I also have one of the Be Legendary Line and Prime lip pencils in medium pink rose. This is a great formula. You can get these and maybe the mascara from Flip. It's nice and creamy, but it does dry down. And I would recommend this formula if you're looking for any. They have some great nude shades, pink shades, and red and vampy colors. So a really nice variety. It doesn't look like a fully matte liner, but I do think that it sets down. I was so excited to get these from Smashbox. I got the lightest 2 shades of the Sculpt and Glow face palette. The lightest one I passed on to my friend Jean. It had a pink and a peach blush, and I felt like I would use my Jouer Sweet Cheeks palette more, but I did want to keep the medium one, which was Back to Cali. I think this is great. Pigmented, blends out nicely, got some nice matte blushes. I really don't love the bronzer as much because this says that it is a contour powder and it is more sheer and it just needs a lot of building, which I don't like, but I love the highlight. This is Champagne Pop, so this is the Becca highlights that are in all of these palettes. So this is a really beautiful one that I'm very, very happy to have. Definitely one of Smashbox's better products, and I have been really lucky to get PR from them. I think they've stopped that because they came out with a loose powder recently that I didn't get, which is a bummer because I would have loved it. I think I waited too long to feature their cream blush sticks. But then I got a package from Merit. I put this here to remind me because I've actually gotten rid of everything. So their little solo shadow, cream shadows, just not for me. I've tried 2 shades. I cannot get down with a matte cream shadow. I just have a hard time blending it on the eye, and I want to put something on top, and then I feel like, well, I'd rather just use a shimmer shadow base on my lid than just matte shades in the crease. So it's just not for me. I think the brush that they sell with it is pretty good for it. The pointed side I don't like. I think it would be better if it was just kind of like rounded. I think that would be nicer for getting precise and a pigmented amount of product along the lower lashes, but I think that the blending side is really nice shape for that product. And then I also had gotten the mascara and the brow gel. I passed on both of those to my mom who likes clean makeup, and I just don't think that mascara does anything for me. I have other tubey mascaras I like better, and the brow gel I think is good, but I just have a ton of brow gel, so I wanted to pass it on. It's nice and tinted, but it does not have any fibers in there to give thickness, which is what I like about the Benefit Gimme Brow. So I passed on all of those as well. Next, I was chosen for the Sigma Ambassador program, which was so exciting because they would have a selection of products for the month, and you would get to pick 2 things, and you had to make a video with them, individual videos with them. And what really sucks is they only had the program for 3 months. So the first month, you get to pick from a couple things. I picked the lip creams because I had wanted to try those. And then the next month, you got a wacky sponge and a wacky brush. And then the third month, they said that we could pick 4 to 6 products because of the success of the program. So of course, everybody picked the max. And then I guess they thought it was too much or whatever. And they wrote, like, after some time, said our orders were canceled, and then never heard anything else in the program, which is so disappointing. I would love for them to revamp it. They never acknowledged it, anything. So I definitely think that was really freaking lame. I mean, you should have just said that, like, we weren't expecting all of this, which why wouldn't you? Like, of course, people like me are going to be greedy and get as many free things as were allowed, especially because it was a different selection than the months before. So that's truly a shame. I would love to get PR from Sigma in the future because it is a brand I love. I love trying out every new thing they release. So with this lip cream formula, I have 3 shades because my friend Amanda sent me one as well. She sent me this shade, which is Dusty Rose. So these have a big applicator, and they should not because they are so pigmented. It is just going to add to this being messy to work with. This is Begonia. And that's the thing, you do need a lip liner with these, and you have to look in the mirror when applying them because they will just make a frickin' mess. Then you've got New Mod. So here are these 3 shades: Dusty Rose, Begonia, and New Mod. Very pretty colors. This feels comfortable on the lips, but this is a lip lacquer. This is very, very high pigment and a thick formula. Not sticky, but it is thick on the lips. I think this looks really pretty, but it's not my go-to formula, so it's something that I'm super glad I was able to get for free because I haven't reached for them very much, but I do want to hold on to these for now, but I really wish that they would just revamp the packaging. I know they kept the same packaging as our lip oils, And while that looks cute on the outside, not practical with this formula. Then Buxom so kindly sent me a package of lippies in all different like pinky red shades for Valentine's Day. So we have the lip polish in Kelly, the lip cream in Rose Julep. Then there were 3 liquid lipsticks. I passed on one that was more of an orangey red because that's just not my thing, but I kept GNO and Hit the Beach, beautiful red color. And then 2 of the Plump Shot glosses. I passed on the Coral Kiss, which was a little bit more orangey, and then this is Cherry Flip. So I think that these are all really nice products. You guys know I love my Buxom glosses. So the lip polishes tend to be a bit more sheer, have some shimmer. This is pretty, but it is a little bit pastel-y, so I just have to be careful when I use that. But this is even more sheer than some of the other lip polishes. Then the lip creams have a bit more pigment, no shimmer. This is a pretty color, not my perfect pinky shade, but I like it. And then for the Plumping Lip Matte, I love this formula. It is really nice and moussey. It doesn't set down 100%, but it mostly sets down and it's pretty comfortable for a liquid lipstick. This is a really pretty rose color. And the red is very beautiful as well. And then for the Plump Shot, this is the only, oh, I won't say that. Their new liquid lipsticks in the black packaging are a burning lip plump as well as the Plump Shot glosses, where everything else is cooling. So that is something important to note going into it. But I think this is a really nice formula. It does burn, but because of that serum consistency, it helps cool it down. It helps soothe the lips. So I think these are really, really nice. So definitely a nice assortment. And I will link my related content with any of these products down below eventually. And then Buxom also sent me their multi-chrome lip gloss collection. Now one of the shades was sold out, so they sent me the clear. I've used up some minis of this, love it. Painful, but I love the serum consistency. And then these multi-chrome ones, I have all of them now. One of them I used recently, and that one is missing, so I'll have to find it, but I will link my video with these. Spellbound Pink, Dreamy, Dolly, Enchanted Berry, which this is the one that was sold out that I got later, and Starstruck Coral. And then the other one is called Celestial Nude. They look so pretty on the lips because they're multi-chromatic, but they're not glittery, so they feel comfortable. And the shine and the multi-dimension is noticeable, but not in a insane way. I think that they actually like are wearable, but I do need to reach for them more. But in that look recently where I wore Celestial Nude, I don't think it looked odd. I think if you put these over top of a lip liner or a matte lipstick, they're going to show a little bit more, but I just use these on my bare lips for a little bit of the effect without it being too much, and I think it's perfect. Next, I was able to snag something from Skeepers, and this is when I just had the regular non-influencer account where it's really hard to snag products. And my friend Jamie told me about the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Color Corrector Drop. This is the shade Peach. I should have gotten Pink Pomelo, but it's sold out. So this is something where I have to mix it with something else, like with a concealer, because it's just a little bit too deep for me. But this is super pigmented, a great fluid consistency that is very easy to blend out, gives a ton of coverage, but is not heavy. So I highly recommend this, or if anybody has any dark pigmentation around their mouth or any like beard coverage product, this has lasted me forever because I need just the tiniest dot. Even if I had it in the correct shade, I know it would last me forever, so I highly recommend that. Then I had won a giveaway, which was so exciting. It was from Makeup on Your Radar on Instagram, and it was for the Cosmic Brushes Winter Wonderland palettes. My first time trying this brand. Such a gorgeous formula, and I can't remember what country this brand is from, but it's overseas, so shipping is a lot, but their palettes are like $35–40, which is amazing considering a lot of brands now are closer to like $65, so super reasonably priced. But this is an amazing blue palette. The fact that they have all blues but they all look different is amazing to me. I'm so impressed by that. The formulas are amazing, the shades are so special, and this is a palette I had my eye on, but I don't use blues enough to justify purchasing it, so this was just perfect. I've got another palette from them. I want their newest launch, but I couldn't get a friend to go in with me on an order, so I'm having to wait for a sale or for maybe like the next launch, and then I'll buy them together. I might do that, but definitely recommend that. It was lovely. And then I also got some liquid lipsticks and lip liners from Clarity Cosmetics. The shades were beautiful, but I actually just recently passed those on to a friend because I just wasn't reaching for them, but I do think the formulas were really nice. So big fail overall, and it needs to be a lesson to me to not just buy things just because. And you know, I still bought a lot last year, but I think I'm hoping that in the following months I'll be a lot happier with my purchases. But I am always happy to share things with friends. So those are my thoughts on all the products I had picked up during this haul a year ago. I would love to hear your thoughts on these products in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.